Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. So happy to have you here with me today. Now today's reading is a 2019 overview. So we'll be focusing on the energies for each sign for each of the months. For my returning viewers, welcome back. And for new viewers, welcome. I'm glad that you found me here on YouTube. The way that the reading is done, I pull a card for each of the months, plus I pull an extra card for sort of each quarter. So we take a look at each month and then sort of look at that quarter as a whole. And it's just to kind of see what energies are surrounding us as we move through or as we look forward to 2019. For the reading, I'll be using the Tarot of the Spirit deck by Pamela and Joyce Eakins, and I will also use the Zillich Tarot by Christine Zillich. These are general readings. I like to remind everybody that the messages may or may not resonate. The only way to get a truly personalized reading would be to order a private reading from me. If you are interested, all of the information can be found in the description box below this video. All right, so I will stop for now and we'll see each of the signs in 1 second for the shuffle. Hi Gemini, hope you're doing well. I'm here to get into your 2019 overview. As you can see, I have shuffled off camera and laid the spread to try to save a little bit of time. The way that I'm doing the reading, the cards that you see around the outside, those are the months of the year. Okay, so there's one card for each month of the year. Then we have on the next ring, we have a card that sort of is the overall energy for that particular quarter. And then at the center, you have, the heart of your reading for 2019. So the overall message for the year. So let's get started with January. You have Brother Earth. This is the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, for the month of February, you have Mother Fire. This is the Queen of Wands. And the month of March, you have Major Arcana number 11, Karma. And this is the Justice card in the traditional tarot. And the overall energy for this first quarter of the year is the Ace of Cups. Beautiful. So you do have 2 court cards and then the Major Arcana. So when we have court cards appear in a reading, and you do have a number of court cards actually looking around the spread, they can be people who are playing a significant role in our life during this time period, right? So if so, this Brother Earth or Knight of Earth or Pentacles, this could be more of a middle-aged Earth sign individual, male or female, but Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. This Mother Fire, Queen of Wands, could be a mother, could be your mother, an older fire sign individual, male or female, even though she appears as mother. It's not gender specific in the general readings. But Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, okay? If they're not people, then, this could be energy, just energy surrounding you, or you taking on the energy of these court cards. So the Brother Earth, or the Knight of Pentacles, Earth energy deals with the tangible things here in the material realm. So we associate it with the work that we do, the money that we earn. It has to do with our homes, family, resources, prosperity, financial prosperity. And this knight, out of all of the knights, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving, right? He's the, the slow and steady wins the race type of energy. So when he appears in a reading, that, knights always, they bring news about something, they bring offerings. This could be a new job offering. This could have to do with, your resources, how you make money, news coming in, or a new offering, something to do with the way that you make money, or, the work that you do. It's not always the fastest moving though, right? So it does sometimes take a little bit of time to manifest, but as earth energy, it's very solid, right? You can count on this, so it will happen. And this, the Knight of Pentacles, he doesn't give up. He's very persistent. He's very determined, hardworking, dependable. So, even if this starts, or, you start to see a little of this energy in January, it might not play out, until a little bit looking sort of ahead here, right, into the next few months. But it's guaranteed, right? It's very solid, stable energy. It's followed by this Queen of Fire, who is, she's a very fiery, very passionate type of individual. She's very determined. She's kind of that born leader. She's very good at handling different things at one time. So, kind of a multitasker. And she's very good at doing everything that she does, right? So she can handle many different projects at one time. She's very charismatic. She's usually very attractive. People are kind of drawn to her. So if this is not an individual, this could be you taking on the energy of this Queen of Wands, and really, feeling very excited about this, whatever this news is, this new opportunity. And, there's something very karmic about this opportunity, because you have in March the Justice card, which is a very karmic energy. It's called karma in this particular deck. And, usually with the Justice card, yes, there can be something to do with the justice system, right? So maybe dealing with the courts, legal proceedings, things going in your favor with regards to legal proceedings. Could be you dealing with a lawyer, dealing with a judge. But it's also sort of the scales of justice now, going in your favor. So things are balanced out. So if you were, if you felt that in the past, maybe you experienced something, or, went through a situation, you felt as though you weren't treated fairly. It's like now things are being righted. It's the universe stepping in and kind of righting whatever that was. It's also a card that speaks of consequences, and, so being aware of your actions, okay, and understanding how your actions have, consequences, so have results. And only you are truly responsible for that. So it's also this kind of action, reaction type of energy as well. But it is a very karmic, things coming to fruition, but going in your favor in a very, like in a very just, a very, things are being righted here. So, and the overall energy of the Ace of Cups, this can be a brand new offering. If, looking at it from more of the viewpoint of a relationship, this can be a new relationship coming in. If so, it's one that, could have staying power. It could be with an earth sign individual, fire sign individual. And it could be one that's quite fated, right? There's karmic ties with this individual. If this isn't to do with a relationship, it can be a new offering, sort of a new job offering. And it's one that brings you great joy, great happiness. The Ace of Cups can also speak of, it's a new relationship. It can be news of a pregnancy. It can be just an offering that brings you great joy, that makes you feel very, very happy. The Ace of Cups can also have to do with like the need to be open and receptive to new things. So, do keep that in mind, that there could be a need for you to open yourself up in order to receive something here. And that's not always easy, right? To open ourselves up to a new opportunity or to a new relationship. But you're being encouraged, in this first part of the year to do that. As you head into the second part of the year, you have the Eight of Wind. In this deck, it's called Power Shield. This would be the Eight of Swords. This is April. For May, you have Major Arcana number 9, the Hermit. And June, Major Arcana number 4, the Emperor. And the overall energy for the second quarter, you have the Prince of Swords. This would be the Knight of Swords. So, beginning here with the Eight of Wind or Eight of Swords, the Swords energy is, obviously your energy. You are an air sign, so it has to do with the mind, right? The intellect. It has to do with where, our thoughts, where we come up with our ideas, also communication, how we get those ideas across to other people. And this Eight of Swords, it doesn't, obviously, this deck represents the card quite differently, because usually the Eight of Swords, it shows a person blindfolded, encircled by, this sort of circle of swords, really to represent, entrapment, that person feels stuck, feels entrapped, cannot see a way out of a situation, feels stuck. So it's a difficult energy, even though it is, it's the energy, it has to do with the mind. So it's not real. There is a way out. The person might not be able to see it at the time, but, it is only in that person's mind. Now, in this deck, it is called Power Shield, and it talks of indecision and how this indecision can lead to a sense of imprisonment, right? But by worrying, putting so much worry and thought into this indecision, you're actually wasting energy. So, what you're being asked to do with this card is to kind of surrender, to once again, to open yourself up, to kind of surrender to the moment, and then clarity will come in. And, we did have that as the overall energy here with this being open, receptive. So again, especially with this deck, there's a message here to, surrender yourself to love, to being open, to being receptive, and then things will become clear. And then you become, empowered. And it might come after, a little bit of kind of withdrawal, taking time out, reflecting, because you have the Hermit card for the month of May. And this is, besides being, you have two major arcanas in a row here, besides being a major arcana, and, it is a powerful energy, it's a card of spiritual, what am I trying to say? Not seeking, but somebody who's seeking knowledge, right? And the Hermit is like that wandering sage. It's the person who, he goes off into the wilderness, retreats, takes time out to really reflect and to think about, what is it that he wants. And so, and this one, in this particular deck, he's not carrying the light. It's like the light is kind of surrounding him, because usually the Hermit has this lantern, and that's what's guiding him. And so it's, this sort of inner light that you actually have within you, that you are, that guides you, that inner knowledge, that intuition, that inner light that you have. That's what you need to follow here. And so you might feel, especially coming after this Eight of Swords, you might feel as though you're alone, but you're not, okay? So even if you, are sort of by yourself and you're trying to figure things out, there's a difference between, being alone, being lonely, right? And you might just be trying to seek this knowledge or this answer, but you do have, the universe is there. I mean, you have a lot of powerful energy surrounding you. And by the time you get to June, it's like you are in control here with the energy of the Emperor. And I feel that this is really you, it's you kind of seeking this knowledge. And then finally, it's like you're taking control of the situation by the month of June, because the Emperor is a very empowering energy. It's linked with the sign of Aries, so it could be an Aries individual, but he's the ultimate male, the ultimate patriarch in the Tarot. So he is, he's like the king of kings. The kings in the Tarot, they're the ones who, they watch over their kingdoms. He is higher than that. He has a whole empire that he's responsible for. And he does that by establishing rules and norms. And he's very dominant. He controls his domain. So he's very protective of his family, of his home, of what's his. So this could be, you just deciding, you've found the answers, you've figured out what it is that you want, you've moved out of this Eight of Swords energy, and, you have as the overall energy this Prince or Knight of Swords. Again, could be you as, an air sign, could be another air sign individual, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But the Knight of Swords is somebody who, he's very intelligent. He uses his intellect to his benefit, right? If there's a situation or a problem to resolve, he always turns to his intellect, right? He doesn't turn to fighting. He uses his intelligence. He talks things over with the other person. So he's a very, if there is something for you to figure out here, I think you're going to do so by using, going within, trusting in those inner messages, but you're ultimately going to use your rational mind to get you out of it, right? And to move forward. As far as possible signs, the Hermit could be a Virgo individual. I can't remember if I mentioned it over here with the Justice card. This could be a Libra. So we have Libra, another air energy, Virgo, earth energy, Aries, fire energy. But again, this, having this overall energy for the second quarter of the Prince of Swords, it's you, being very creative, being very intelligent, but also, using your words, choosing your words very carefully. But it's like it's you in control here. Now, the third quarter, we start off with Major Arcana number 10, the Wheel of Fortune, followed by the Six of Wind, or the Six of Swords. In this deck, it's called Clarity. And the Eight of Water. In this deck, it's called Still Waters. This is the Eight of Cups. And the overall energy for the third quarter is Major Arcana number 8, Lust, which is the Strength card. But in this deck, it's called Lust, but Strength card. So, and it's interesting. Here you have two Major Arcanas, and then you have the two transition cards in the Tarot. And I'll give you, in this particular deck, the messages are a little bit different for the Six of Swords and the Eight of Cups. But, traditionally, these are the two transition cards in the Tarot. They speak of leaving behind a situation, one that is no longer serving you, that no longer fulfills you emotionally, and heading into calmer waters, heading into better times. And that's really just kind of echoed here by the Wheel of Fortune card, because, this is all about, it's your time. Things are finally going in your favor. The Wheel of Fortune, it's a very karmic, a very fated energy. It's sitting across from the karma card here. But it's, this turn of the wheel. So new opportunities coming in, but these are fated opportunities, right? They're meant to come into your life at this time. Things are going in your favor, a favorable turn of events. With the Wheel of Fortune for the month of July. And then August, Six of Swords. Usually in the traditional tarot, there's a woman in a boat, and she's being rowed away. She's rowing away from choppy waters into calmer waters. And so there could be, even though it's swords, which is mental energy, there could be a mentally, you're moving on from something. There could be a physical move. So physically moving away, and it does come after this major change. So there could be a move, a change in address, moving to somewhere by water or crossing waters. And then with the Eight of Water or Eight of Cups, again, there's usually somebody, turning their back and walking away, and there's usually the cups spilled out on the ground, representing that the person has at one point or another had to drink from each of those cups, but they no longer satisfy that person. And so there's this, again, walking away. And then the overall energy of the Strength card, which can, it's associated with the sign of Leo, but it speaks of having the inner strength and determination and willpower to face, a situation, to deal with something. And so, this could definitely be a huge change coming in for you after, after the midpoint of the year, where this could be a change in job, a move, a change in, again, where you're living. And it might be, you might have to kind of be strong as you face these changes, because change is not always easy. But in this particular deck, these two cards, they are slightly different. So this one is called Clarity in this deck, and it's it's like all of a sudden after this change in events, or this changing, this turning of the Wheel of Fortune, finally, you know, you have clarity of mind. You have the right perspective. You can see things for what they truly are. It also kind of makes me think of like the Ace of Swords, sorry, you know, like that moment of that epiphany, that aha, all of a sudden everything is, you know, it all makes sense to you. And then you have the Eight of Water. This is called Still Waters in this deck. And it makes me think more of like the Four of Swords, which is a card of retreating, of withdrawing, of reflecting. And again, things will become clear once you withdraw, once you reflect. So there's this, you know, a focus or an emphasis here on clarity and things becoming clearer. That is kind of the main message with change for this third quarter. Now, the last part of the year, you have Father Wind. So this is the King of Swords, followed by Major Arcana number 14, Temperance. And Brother Water. This is the Knight of Cups. And the overall energy for the last quarter of the year, you have the Queen of Cups. So, beginning with, again, you have quite a few court cards, 3 out of the 4 cards. You have 1 major arcana and 3 court cards. So, could be people. There seem to be a lot of people around you this year. So, you could be dealing with a lot of different people, coming into contact with a lot of different people. This Father Wind could be you, right? I mean, it is air energy, so could be you, or could be another, could be your father, could be an older air sign individual, male or female. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And, you know, usually this person is, again, for somebody who is very intelligent, who uses their intellect, to, you know, as the king. This person has really mastered the suit of air. So, you know, has mastered the suit of the mind, of the intellect. Somebody who chooses their words very carefully, right? Somebody who's very analytical, very thoughtful. Somebody who, you know, who sort of moves forward, but always considering, you know, going over and over everything in their mind. Sometimes this can be, it can be a like legal counsel. So this might be you seeking legal counsel. This could be dealing with a lawyer, dealing with somebody in, you know, sort of in the military, like an authority figure. Or if this is you, you know, this is you just, again, using your intellect, coming up with these ideas, moving forward, but in a very, you know, methodical, a very planned out, you know, way. It's followed by this Temperance card, which is balance, right? The Temperance speaks of all things in balance. It speaks of moderation, right? All areas of our life being in moderation, being in balance. So, you know, having moderation in the way that we work, food, you know, drinking, working, spending. It's everything, all the areas of our life in moderation. And, you know, there's this sort of finding the middle path, which, you know, when you're dealing with trying to negotiate or using your intellect, there's also, you do oftentimes have to find that common ground, that middle path, right? So there might be this middle way of negotiation that you have to deal with. Maybe when you're working through this last quarter of the year, is possibly dealing with a water sign. Well, we have 2 water energies here. So you might be dealing with a water sign individual. So you have the Knight of Cups and then the Queen of Cups. So Suit of Cups is water energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. The Brother, this is the Knight, could be, you know, more of a middle-aged individual. The Queen could be a mother figure or an older water sign individual. The Knight of Cups is, you know, usually the knight in shining armor. So this could be a new offer of a love coming in. This could be a new relationship. It doesn't have to be there, right? That knights, they're messengers. They bring offerings. This could be an offering that brings you great happiness. This could be news about a job or a project, you know, anything that brings you happiness. But it's very loving, very open energy, right? The Queen of Cups, she's a very caring individual. She's very compassionate. She's very loving. She loves to take care of, you know, those around her, everybody in her family, but also open and receptive. So there's, you know, with both of them, much like I was saying over here with the Ace of Cups, and I think that was one of the messages at the beginning of the year. It's kind of like you're going full circle here, but a need to be open and receptive. Maybe when dealing with people, maybe when trying to find this common ground, there's a need to be open and receptive. And the heart of your reading, so the energy for the entire year, this is the King of Wands. In the Osho Zen deck, he's called the Creator. And you can see that there's just all red. It's just beautiful, fiery red colors on the card. And he is the King of Wands. And the King of Wands could be it could be any, you know, fire sign, older fire sign individual. So Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. For some reason, I always kind of associate him more with Leo. I don't know why. We have Leo here as well. But, you know, this is really you. It's you taking on the energy of the Creator, this King of Wands for 2019. And the King of Wands is very dynamic. He's very passionate. He's a born leader, right? He is not afraid to take a chance to, you know, if there's a new opportunity, he's the first one to go off and to try that new thing, to, you know, and he usually succeeds. He's a trailblazer. And he's a born leader. People tend to follow him, right? They look to him. He has great vision. He's a visionary. And we have a lot of messages here with, you know, this clarity, you know, clarity of mind, rational mind, intellect. So there's a lot of that kind of wrapped up with this. And you have the Queen of Fire over here, and you have the King at the center. So, you know, a lot of fire energy, a lot of air energy in your reading. So, you know, intellect, sort of this marriage of the intellect with, you know, ambition and drive and passion for things. Now, let me read you because this Osho Zen deck, it does have a different interpretation of the card. So I'll read it. It's more like the message that comes through is more like a, kind of like an oracle card message. So I'll read you the whole message for the Creator. And it says, the Zen master in this card has harnessed the energy of fire and is able to use it for creation rather than destruction. He invites us to recognize and participate with him in the understanding that belongs to those who have mastered the fires of passion without repressing them or allowing them to get destructive and out of balance. He is so integrated that there is no longer any difference between who he is inside and who he is in the world outside. He offers this gift of understanding and integration to all those who come to him, the gift of creative life that comes from the center of his being. The King of Fire tells us that anything that we undertake now with the understanding that comes from maturity will bring enrichment to our own lives and to the lives of others. Using whatever skills you have, whatever you have learned from your own life experience, it is time to express yourself. So, yeah, you have a lot of, just a lot of sort of mental energy. So this could be a year where you're, you know, I do see that could be, for some of you, that could be relationship or, you know, opportunities for relationship. But it looks like there's a lot of, you know, a lot of mental sort of thinking about things, changes. This could be change in your place of business, you know, where you work. But there's this, you know, coming together of your intellect and your creativity for the year. And it's like you're at the center. You are the creator. It's you driving the train, right? You are really feeling very creative. And I think that there's a lot of vision that maybe you have kind of kept inside for a while. And it's like it's going to be coming out this year. So I think that it's definitely a year for creativity, and you as, you know, the master, you're the painter of the masterpiece, right? You are the creator. So I do hope that the messages have helped you. I thank you for joining me today. I look forward to reading for you again, and just know that I'm sending you much peace, love, and light for a wonderful 2019. Bye for now.